It's time I admitted it. To quote the great theologian Joan Jett, I love rock and roll. Starting with Elvis Presley, my love for rock really took off when I heard the first strains of I Want to Hold Your Hand from four young lads who came from a place I'd never heard of before, a port city in England named Liverpool. They were called the Beatles, and they literally impacted the world. Many musicians have acknowledged that they decided to start a band after first seeing the Fab Four in 1964 on a Sunday evening variety program called The Ed Sullivan Show. Frankly, I wonder where all the rock bands have gone of late. I've had the privilege of personally meeting and getting to know a lot of rock icons over the years, and I have such great admiration for their talent. So yes, I admit it, I'm a fan. But I'm also a pastor, so you are probably wondering why I, of all people, am writing a book on rock stars, musicians, and their lives. I'm glad you asked. The reason I'm writing this book is to look at the spiritual journeys of these iconic people who have entertained us for decades. They have provided the soundtracks to our lives. A song can be played and we are instantly transported to another time and even a specific moment. Many of these stars came to sad and even tragic ends. Others found hope and change in their lives. Still others are a work in progress. This is their story, and in many ways, it's our story too. I've already written 3 other spiritual biographies, one on the king of cool himself, American film icon Steve McQueen. He had it all and then some, but he was dissatisfied, and he went on a search that ultimately changed his life. Another is about the man they called the godfather of cool, the legendary Johnny Cash. His story is different than McQueen's in that Cash was raised as a Christian and was a believer from his childhood. He had many struggles over the years, but in the end, his faith was stronger than ever. My most recent spiritual biography is about the man who impacted both McQueen and Cash, my own spiritual mentor, evangelist Billy Graham. Billy was a friend of Cash and was there for McQueen at a pivotal moment in his life. These books came as a pleasant surprise to me in that I didn't plan to write about those figures. I was simply hit with a bout of inspiration. And there are a lot of surprises in this book. Would you believe you will see some dreadlocked guy with tattoos on his face who plays death metal, singing with the angels in heaven? A guy with a snake hanging around his neck who beheads mannequins on stage? People who have done so many drugs they didn't even know where they were or which decade they were in. People who played in bands like the Byrds, Buffalo Springfield, Grand Funk Railroad, Foreigner, Poison, Metallica, Twisted Sister, and Megadeth. These people are going to be in heaven? I know there's no disease in paradise, but Grandma's still going to have a heart attack if these guys show up there. And what about the Beatles? They went to India and hung out with the long-haired, bearded guru who giggled a lot. They smoked a lot of pot and dropped a lot of acid. And John Lennon once said they were more popular than Jesus. What is their spiritual story? Then there are the founding members of the 27 Club, Jimi Hendrix, Brian Jones, Janis Joplin, and Jim Morrison. They all died at that age. Hendrix said music was his religion. Joplin was a chef salad of Southern comfort, heroin, speed, and whatever else she could get her hands on. But she also loved painting, poetry, and literature. Morrison was the on-the-edge lizard king trying to turn Doors concerts into ecstatic ancient Greek rituals. But he also had an IQ of 149 and carefully listened to pastors who tried to engage him. Bob Dylan is still among us, and he is truly an icon of rock and music. If there were a Mount Rushmore of musical legends, surely Robert Zimmerman, Dylan's real name, would be there. He was born and raised Jewish. Then he announced that he was a Christian, much to the shock and surprise of many. Dylan recorded 3 albums that have strong biblical content, and since then his faith has taken many twists and turns. He summed it up perfectly in one of his newer songs, I contain multitudes.